Yeah, so now you can actually participate by going on our podcast. You can listen 24/7 to our shows. You can go onto our website right on your phone,
Yeah.
nutritionalfrontiers.com. All the workshops and all the recordings are right there online, Joe, including the professional events. So
Oh, yeah.
you can go through a deeper dive on some of these great topics. And today's an interesting topic because, in spite of the last few years, the flu is still around. It's been around forever, and it's not going anywhere. And there's this big push for this flu shot. So I always ask the question, flu shot or not?
Right, and I'm going to say unequivocally, not. Not. And I stand by that, and I always will. You know why? Because we can fight it without the shot. We can do it by boosting our immune system. That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and the whole goal is really people should be more educated on the topic.
Yeah.
Then you can make your personal decisions, right? So I always tell about my story, 1993, getting ready for Mr. Pennsylvania bodybuilding competition. And I worked in the Rivers Club downtown, which is a really exclusive private health club. I was a personal trainer there. And they were connected to St. Francis Health Center. So they kept encouraging me to get a flu shot because the flu was going to be the worst ever that year. Have you ever heard that?
I heard that a few times.
Yeah. So a lot
Every
of
year, I
prediction.
think.
And my friend worked there, so she recommended I go. So I went and got it, just really to make sure that she wouldn't give me a hard time anymore. And, being a single young adult, you're not living at home anymore. You're not sure what you did as a kid, right? So I went and got the shot on a Thursday afternoon. And within a few hours, I started getting chills.
Almost
Hot
like
and
you
cold.
got the flu.
Well, I did get the flu.
Yeah.
And then, back then, being in great shape and working in a health club, you're always out and about, meeting people. But I was in bed pretty much all weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was exhausted and felt terrible. So when I went back to work on Monday, I saw the nurse and I said, I got really sick last week. She said, didn't you get the shot? I go, I did. She goes, imagine how bad you would have been if you didn't get the shot. I said, well, hold on, honey. I said, I think the shot gave it to me. You know what she said? Impossible.
Impossible. Well, that was their program.
Anything's possible. That was my experience. That's the last time I got it. My doctor's job is to recommend every time I go see him. And he also recommends a pneumonia shot at my age, he said. I said, Doc, thank you, because I know I have to say it. I know you won't do it. It's a personal choice. Even went through the last few years. Regardless if you do the shot or not, you need to boost the immune system, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the real key is boosting the immune system so that you don't have to worry about it. And that way you can fight off anything.
And, Jamie, what's the biggest mistake everybody makes? They wait till flu season to try and boost their immune system, right? Your immune system works all year round. You wait, it's too late.
We got to start with the foundations, right? The fundamentals of health and wellness, which is our great pyramid of health.
That's right.
Right? So you want to make sure you're getting your water in every day. You're getting the right foods in. How do you know if it's a food or it's junk? Because there's no junk food, right?
No, there's only food or there's junk.
Right.
No
so what's
junk
the difference?
Food. Well, let's see. If it walked, flew, grew, swam on this planet, it's a food.
Yeah, and you can do a simple experiment, right? You want to get really high tech in your kitchen, leave it out on the counter. If it doesn't go bad, it's not food.
No, it's a food product.
Yes. So a lot of things they're promoting as food are really not.
Are really not.
So be careful on all the packaged junk that you consume. Well, you'll notice the more real live food you eat, starting with fruits and veggies, lean proteins, complex carbohydrates, right? All these diets out there, they give foods bad names. You ever hear, don't eat carbs?
Yeah.
So that means no fruits, no veggies. Someone told me, no, that means no bread. I says, well, fruits and veggies are carbs too. They're called fibrous carbs.
Yeah.
So what you don't want to do is eat processed carbs, potato chips, heavy processed breads. But the stuff that comes from the ground, like sweet potatoes and yams and baked potatoes and beans,
every vegetable is a carbohydrate.
And salads and greens. You need to have a majority of your diet based on those foods, even some good steel-cut oatmeal. Right? Now, if you have a food allergen, that's different. But let's not generalize every person on the planet can't eat these foods.
Right.
What I find, if you start cutting out the junk, you'll notice that you start to feel a lot better.
Yeah,
And-
and we boiled it down like Dr. Tracy, who speaks for us all the time and is just a brilliant naturopath. She advocated, and we came with a name for this. She did the swim, flew, grew, ran, all that. It's the OTE diet. You know what that stands for? Of the earth. It's that simple. If it's of the earth, it's good for you.
Yeah, if grocery stores were all closed, could you find it on the planet?
Ooh,
that's always a good question.
good
If
one,
you
too.
can, it's probably pretty good. And then what you do from that is then you further refine it based on your blood type,
Yep.
your goals, your body composition, your age, your activity levels. Those are all great ways to modify, but it has to start with a whole food-based diet.
Exactly. Very
Right?
well said. Yep.
So that water and then movement, right? I don't call it
absolutely.
exercise anymore
No.
because people think it's a negative. And don't punish yourself for what you ate. Make yourself stronger for what you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, when you say exercise, it implies that you have to go somewhere to do it. You don't. You just got to move.
Where you can go.
You can stand up, walk through the house, around the block, out on the track. You don't have to go somewhere to exercise.
And this is coming from a multiple-time black belt, Pennsylvania State karate champion, and owner of the dojo for what, 25, almost 30 years?
Yeah, 25 years.
So your background is martial arts, right? My background is fitness and nutrition. So what's one thing you can tell people about movement that's so important?
Use your body. Body weight resistance exercises are probably the simplest, most effective thing you can do. And everybody can do them. You get up and down out of a chair, that's a body weight exercise, right? Do it 20 times.
Yeah, my big thing is consistency.
Yeah.
Right? You got to move consistency. My training changes throughout the year based on activity, time of year, seasons,
Yes.
right? In the winter, I may be a little more inside with the cardio because of the weather. But if it's nice, I'm walking outside. I try and do some ice skating, some skiing. These are all things that keep you active. You know, this whole thing with, being very sedentary and then trying to work out for 30 minutes, not enough. So
Yeah.
consistency is the key. No matter what you like to do. Some people
That's
just
right.
like to walk. Some play tennis. Some will actually go on the golf course and walk the course, right? Maybe even 9 holes, right? There's a lot of things to do to keep yourself active. And the key for me is the consistency.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Consistency. Because like we live in a place, a part of the country with 4 seasons for sure, right? And it's always something. We get a lot of rain. We get a lot of snow. So sometimes being outside is not the most effective thing. So you got to have something to change up into, right?
Yeah, and then the other big things we look at is digestion and elimination, right? That is usually in the top 3 concerns of people's health. Some of the most common medications used to be prescription and now are over the counter, these purple pills. What are your thoughts on those?
I can sum that up real quick. The guy who advertises the little purple pill, you ever see him? Larry, the cable guy. He says, all you got to do is take this little purple pill and eat anything you want. And then what I say, yeah, it looks like it, Larry. You definitely look like it. Does he look healthy to you? No, so don't follow that advice.
Yeah, and generally we want to look at not so much the cure, but the cause.
Yeah.
And the biggest cause is what people eat and drink, right? And I know it's holiday season, so, we had some parties this week for clients and a team party. And, people have a glass of wine, they're eating healthy food, but they're also active out there. What was some of the exercise they were doing and activity, Joe?
One of the best exercises there is, dancing. Right?
Yeah.
Get out on that dance floor.
So
move your body.
That accomplishes a few things, right? People are listening to music, they're moving, and also they're laughing.
They're laughing.
I've seen some of the way people dance these days, so... but have a lot of fun too, right? So
Yes.
during these times, I was reading a great passage. I have these readings each morning from the Bible, right? And it was talk about don't overindulge, right? So you can have a glass or 2 of wine. You don't need 2 bottles, right? Same with cake or dessert. You don't need to eat the whole cake.
No.
Maybe you share a piece of cake, right? And there's things you can do that will help you throughout the holiday season with nutrition. The first one would have to be, boosting the immune system, but the Probzon would have to be really a core of this whole holiday season. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think everybody knows my thoughts on that. It's one of my all-time favorite formulas. It was our very first formula at Nutritional Frontiers. It's the flagship formula. Probzyme combines probiotics and enzymes, something that everybody needs. Everybody, and it's in a chewable, delicious.
What a great
tablet.
thing to take with you to the holiday party.
Yes.
To the family's Christmas dinners.
How about some stocking stuffers?
It'd be great.
Great
We have
idea,
the 8-count
right?
travel
Yeah.
size. I know Kevin's giving them out for free this week. All you need to do is come into the
He has a whole
wellness center.
table of free stuff.
Absolutely, and that's a great way to participate is get the probes on, because if you take one, I take 2 before any big meal.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going out to eat, if I'm going to a holiday party, if I'm going to eat food that's a little richer than I'm used to,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's a food that's from a restaurant, because I don't know what they're putting in it.
That's right.
Even something healthy. So probes on would be really beneficial to take before. I like 2 before and 1 or 2 after the meal.
Yeah.
That's going to help reduce the ABCs, which are what?
Acid reflux, bloating, and
constipation.
constipation.
I want to go with a D.
Diarrhea, yeah.
So the ABCs and Ds of digestion start with probes on.
It sure do. It sure does. And, one of the other great uses for Probzyme that I've found is that at night before you go to bed, like brush your teeth, all that, then chew a cup, 1 or 2, because that's getting good bacteria in your mouth before you go to bed. It's one of the best things you
Yeah,
can
the
do.
reason we're talking about the foundations to start this week is that's where it all begins.
Yes.
You can't have a healthy immune system if you're not eating right, moving right, drinking right, eliminating right, and the other one, of course, sleeping, right? So I thought when you were younger you would need less sleep as you aged.
That's what they told us, yeah.
Another thing they told us, I don't
Yeah.
believe. It's not true.
No.
Actually need a little more sleep.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong with getting a good, healthy 6 to 8 hours. It really starts with the environment, right?
Oh, yeah.
We were on some trips with my daughter and stuff. She wants the TV on and the computers, and I'm like, you got to shut everything off, right?
Yeah.
So the environment is really important, right? What you're doing before you go to bed at night. Don't overeat. Don't overdrink, right? Give yourself some time before you go. Maybe listen to some really soft music. Might not be a great time to watch one of your favorite movies like The Godfather, right? Yeah. So you want to watch?
It's okay to watch a little Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Get a little loud. Feel good. The worst thing people can do is first thing in the morning and last thing before they go to bed is watch the news. It's the worst thing you can do. You want to be depressed when you go to bed? No.
So sleeping is really important. That's why I have things like Sleep Time and Adrenamax that really help people sleep. The Relax is great to help the muscles calm down at night. And then I think that really the foundation of all the foundations is emotional wellness. And we've seen so many people suffer the last 4 years, right, with the fear that's out there, the whole concern with, the whole pandemic that was going on, all the elections, the division of the country, even right down to if people think food's healthy or not, right?
Yeah.
And they think you have to do either allopathic or natural. Not true. We do integrative, right?
That's right.
But the emotional wellness is really a key. And we've had so many great clinical case studies, including one of my favorites from doctor down in Orlando, right?
Yes, Dr. Roland Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what type of doc is he?
He was a pediatrician. I said was because he's now considers himself a functional medicine practitioner.
Yeah, and I asked him, well, how old are patients that a pediatrician will see? He's usually 21, but he has a couple that are a little bit older. And he says, can I tell you about one of them? I said, sure. And the kid came in his 20s, MBA student, engineer, really running on adrenaline to the point that he was suffering from adrenal burnout. And what was he considering?
Suicide, actually. He was seriously, and to the point where he wasn't originally from this country, and his parents are here with him, and he was considering going back to his home country to do this so they didn't have to worry about handling it. I mean, look how much thought he put into this. Then he got to see Dr. Gutierrez, and Dr. Gutierrez put him. We have the testimonial. We should just play it, right?
If we can.
Let's hear it right from the doc's mouth.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. This guy's Johnny
changed
on
it.
the spot over here. Anytime we just throw it out there, he just goes with it.
Yeah.
So, no, this is a really important part of the foundations because the emotional wellness, right? If you're anxious, right, maybe you need to burn more energy, right?
Maybe,
That's what that's telling me. Maybe, I always ask my daughter, did you work out today? Did you walk today, right? Are you doing stimulants, right?
Yeah.
caffeine, nicotine, sugar. These all stimulate the body and the mind. Are you doing your prayers? Are you doing your journaling? It really starts with the foundations. I always say go for a walk. How far? Until your mind calms down.
Yeah, I was glad you said that, because then the other thing that helps calm the mind is a good night's sleep. And many people, the problem they have sleeping is not that they can't fall asleep, they can't stay asleep, right?
So things like sleep time will help that.
Sleep time
And then
will help that.
Adrenamax, which I always take this time of the year because this is when people are really stressful.
Yeah.
The seasons are changing, less light out, less outdoor activity. So I do the Adrenamax this time of year to boost the adrenals up with the Super B, and then the calm that the sleep time at night, which we're going to show Dr. Gutierrez's patients. So there's all the foundations of immune health, right? So when you do those first, and then you're doing the immune kit, Joe, maybe you don't need the flu shot.
That's right. And if you notice, this is a lifestyle adjustment, right? And a lifestyle commitment. You do all the right things right, your body responds. What did Doc always say? You give the body what it needs, it will heal.
It'll heal itself, right?
Yes.
So we've seen many examples of this. So big way to boost the immune system is the immune kit. So what do you like about the immune kit, Joe?
All the fundamentals are there, all your usual suspects, let's say, right? You've got vitamin C, you got vitamin D, you've got zinc, you've got N-acetylcysteine, you've got Immunomax. So you've got everything that you need in one kit. And the beauty of the kit is that you can use it all year round. You take the minimum dosage, maybe just one a day of each.
That's
right?
really the goal.
All year round, and then come flu season, you won't need any extra help because you've empowered your immune system to work the way it should.
You ever hear about something that has to work its way out of the body? Where got to run its course.
Yes.
How far can you go into the body?
Halfway.
And then what do you got to do?
On your way out.
Right. So when it sinks in and gets all the way into the cells, it usually takes 2 to 3 to 4 days for that to happen. So you can't wait until it gets in deep.
No.
You got to realize is that you need these nutrients in your body already.
That's right.
I love the concept. Do one a day.
That's it.
You got vitamin D, you got quercetin, vitamin C, zinc, and Immunomax. Do one a day of each. And then what's your first sign or symptom that you may be getting sick? I mean, it's been a long time since you've been sick.
Yeah, it has. And for me, it was, everybody's different, right? But for me, I would get that tickle in the back of my throat. And I would think, something's coming.
Yeah, for me, it's the temperature changes.
Okay.
Right? I'm hot, I start to sweat, and then I get cool. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? Right away, I can tell. So when people have that symptom, they usually wait a day or two. Then they go to a doctor, and then it's 4 days in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do. It's got to run its course. So you need to have these in your home, in your wellness cabinet.
Yes.
That used to be called?
Yeah, medicine cabinet used to be, right? Well,
That's the old days.
let food be your medicine. Let medicine be your food.
So we like to do one a day, and then you have that first sign or symptom. I recommend 4 a day of each.
That's right. Bump it up times 4.
For a kid, 2 a day. Before puberty, after puberty, you go up to 4 a day.
Exactly.
You can go higher on some of these things. The zinc is about 4, is about the max. So let's circle back around because I know a lot of people are texting me right now about they want to see this whole testimonial from Dr. Gutierrez because a lot of people right now, I think emotional wellness is my number one concern.
It sure is.
Anytime a young adult or an adult is considering this, it's really time to intervene. And let's hear from Dr. Gutierrez. So good morning, everyone. I'm sitting here with Dr. Roland Gutierrez in Winter Park, Florida. Good morning, Doc. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great.
Well, it's so nice to meet you earlier this year at our professional training event. And we have some exciting reports back from utilizing the protocol. You want to share that with us?
Sure, absolutely. I was a little bit I was a skeptic when I first got into functional medicine. Being an allopathic traditional medicine for 30 years, that's my cuckoo clock.
Well, we got the birds chirping and you're smiling, so let's keep rolling.
Well, I have this 27-year-old patient who got his master's degree. He's an engineer, very high-powered individual, but he came in and he said, you know what, I'm going to fly back home to my home country, and I'm going to commit suicide there because I don't want my parents to have to deal with my body here. And I said, well, what's going on? I took a history, and I found that he had very severe adrenal fatigue. He wasn't sleeping well. His diet was all over the place. So we fixed that with his diet, and we started him on Nutritional Frontiers, the Keep Calm kit, which included the sleep time, the Adrenamax. We put him on supplements from the company. And, I kept in touch with him, obviously, pretty much twice a day to make sure he was doing okay.
So he was on the Adrenamax, Super
Right.
B, Calm Day, and Sleep Time?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, what a great protocol.
Yeah, so a little skeptical again at first, but after the first week, he said, you know what, I'm gonna change my flight. I'm gonna stay in town. I said, no, that's great. And then after the second or third week, he said, I'm feeling better. I said, that's great. I said, would you see a counselor to talk about what's going on? He said, yeah, sure, I'll see a counselor. At the 6th week, he came in, he said, I'm sleeping better, I'm feeling better, I'm happier, I don't want to kill myself anymore.
Oh my
Said,
God.
That's really a fantastic. Now, and 2.5 months later, he's got this beautiful French girlfriend. I see him walking around. He gives me a hug every time he sees me. He said, thank you, Doc, you changed my life. And it was because of this company, Nutritional Frontiers, and their protocol and the medication, the supplements that there is better than any medications I could have given. And because of that, his life is saved. So thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Doc. I got chills all over, and that's what our mission is, to continue making the world healthy, one person at a time. And thanks for having the trust in us. Would you recommend us to any of your colleagues out there?
Oh, absolutely. If you're not using these products, then you are missing out, and your patients are missing out as well.
And we can use this video for any doctors, patients, and people out there?
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks so much, Doc. We appreciate all the support, and congratulations. What a great story to hear on a Friday. God bless.
Thank you.
Wow.
Beautiful.
It doesn't matter how many times you see this, it still just hits you right in the heart.
Yeah, we're talking about flu shot or not here, Joe, and the reason we start with some of the stress components is that that's really where people's immune system breaks down.
Yeah, that's
right?
for sure.
They tend to over-medicate. Could be tobacco, it could be alcohol, it could be sugars, right? Diet Coke. Well, there you go.
Good one.
There's a good one, right? That makes people feel good mentally.
She's looking at you when she said that.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
No judgment here.
Not at all. We're here to help.
Remember these things, they're very addicting.
Oh, yeah.
Because the biochemists that put these together, right? The commercial for the chips where you couldn't eat just one, right?
They were even telling you
Yeah.
that it was addicting.
Yeah, met with a family member a few months back, and he shared with me. I said, "Oh, you look good. You lost weight." He says, "I'm down 18 pounds, and my pain went away." I said, "What do you do?" I eliminated the 6 Pepsis a day you told me to. Now, he's not a kid, right?
No.
Yeah. So you can see how those things can have damaging effects on the body right away. So the things that people tend to overindulge in and self-medicate, sugars, sodas, alcohol, those are stimulants.
Yes.
And they almost make you feel good, right? And then you feel worse later on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Usually it's very short-lived if you feel good. Remember what Doc said. It took 6 weeks. So, it wasn't like a magic pill overnight.
No.
6 weeks for him to reverse his life.
Well,
But
yeah,
it's a
because by the
short time
time you feel
considering.
symptoms, it may have been going on for months or years.
Sure.
Then you have a traumatic situation, right? He's an engineer right out of school, working long hours,
Yes.
away from home. You can see how you can get burnt out. So it's like a cell phone. You got to recharge your adrenals every day. You can go for a day or two, but once that phone's dead, sometimes you plug it in, you just don't even see anything,
Yeah, that's
right?
right. That's right.
So it's just like our body. You
Yeah.
can only go with adrenaline for so long. And then what happens is it catches up to you.
it catches up to you, and then it backfires.
Now, this is a pediatrician, an MD. What was the first part of what he said?
He was skeptic. He was a skeptic. Why? Because his education, right?
And the reason he wasn't a skeptic when he first met us was that his wife had a personal case where she worked with Dr. Edwin Lee, a functional endocrinologist out of Orlando, and dramatically improved their health in a short period of time. To the point he said, I got to know what they're doing. Came to our event for 2 days.
That's right.
And then we met with him after that, and he said, I'm going to start using this and see. And he was able to duplicate the results and get better than even what his wife got.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a key thing to remember. Self-proclaimed skeptic.
And a pediatrician, which are some of the hardest of the allopathic to break into.
Sure, you're working with moms and babies and kids.
And you have all the schedules you have to fulfill the vaccine, right?
So you want to make sure your stress is under control.
Yes.
Because if your body's in stress, it's fight or flight, it's not going to function properly. And other things are going to start to suffer, like the immune system, right?
Right.
So be careful when your body is burnt out. That's when you do some of these shots that you may even have further complications, right?
Sure. Because that's another stress on the body. You know, the shot itself is a stress. Remember that. Anytime you puncture the skin, that's actually an injury or a surgery. It doesn't matter if it's just a needle. So you're putting a stress on your body just from the act itself.
Well, let's talk about that, Joe, because Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, a functional medicine doctor from the Cleveland area, she's talked about vaccines for years, and she says something about injection versus ingestion.
Yes.
Because people will say, oh, you're exposed to these heavy metals all over. Water, food, they're ubiquitous with society, right, with the earth. However, what's the difference when you ingest versus you inject?
The difference is one simple thing. Nature's wonderful, right? The power of God, the Creator, gave us a system that if you ingest it, it starts to deplete it. It starts to get it, process it, get it out of the body. If you inject it, you bypass that defense mechanism.
Yes. It automatically gets in the body because something's technically not inside your body until it's absorbed. So it has to go through mouth all the way through the colon is a tube or a pipe through your body. To get to the inside, to the bloodstream, to the organs, it needs to be absorbed through the small intestines.
That's
and stuff, right? So your body is designed to break things down coming in. That's why an oral medication is tougher on the liver than an injectable one, right? Yep. So there are some advantages of injections that you can bypass the liver.
Yes.
However, in this case, not a good idea because all the preservatives that are in there, right?
Yeah.
And the other big thing with the flu shot I learned years ago is that there's certain strains each year.
Yes.
So how do they know which strain to use?
Oh, I can answer that. They don't.
Oh, why is that? When do they make the flu shot?
They make it the year prior to that strain of flu coming. They don't know which one's coming. So the concept of the shot itself is wrong. The whole concept of it. So,
yeah, so it makes it really tough is that they're not 100% sure, right? Some people can get the flu from the flu shot. That's been proven. And the toxic load that people are exposed to.
Yeah, that's
you
tough.
start to factor in if they got the shot for COVID and they got boosters and they're following the protocols. You know, until 9/11, from being born until you're 18, you'd have about 20 shots if you followed the system. Now it's over 80. That's 80.
Shots. Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it keeps going up. It was just a year or two ago, prior to this event, it was 72. Now it's over 80.
So it keeps growing, folks. You got to really do your homework. We're not going to get into purposes discussion, genetic predisposition of being able to handle some of these toxins, right? Things like methyl pathways that are inhibited or not on an optimal level. But there's a lot of factors in, you know, just like weight. So, my friend eats the same thing I do, but look at her. It doesn't matter. That's her body. Maybe she has other issues, right?
That's right.
So everyone's bodies are different, and it's the toxin and also the toxic load that you may not be able to handle. Right?
And that's a good point because they could have so many other things going on in their body. You know, maybe there is another illness. Maybe there's something, they had an injury. See, your body is mounting a defense against all these things. Add one more, that could be the straw that broke the camel's back, right? So you don't really know if you're at that point where that last straw is going to be the one. So
yeah, and you look at the last few years. Just look at a healthy population. Okay, let's take world athletes.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
that. Professional athletes.
Between 18 and 40, right? So that's college and professional and semi-pro. So what they did is they looked back the last 40 years. One of my docs did this research. And what she found is that the average year in the last 40 years, you have 28 cases of a healthy professional male or female athlete having cardiac arrest.
Okay.
Right? Some cardiac event even, which I thought was a lot. But out of
Still a
7
lot.
billion people,
Okay.
28 is not that much, right? So in 2022, in 1 year, there were more issues with cardiac events ending in a death than there were in the previous 40 years. 1 year.
That's
And
got
you've
to tell
seen
you
this.
something.
The football player on
Yes.
TV dropped.
Yes.
You saw this with soccer players, gymnasts,
Basketball
little
players,
leaguers,
all the way around, yes.
Right? It's gotten to the point where some of my doctors, medical doctors, showed me waivers now from the schools, Joe,
Wow.
if you got the shot. Yeah. So, folks, this is just the beginning. You don't want to keep putting your body at risk with higher and higher levels of these toxic load.
Right.
And if you're going to do those things, you better have a strategy in place, Joe. So what would be a great strategy to implement?
Right off the bat, you start with this immune kit. And like we said earlier, this is for the family, right? So you can get an immune kit, and by only taking one a day of everything in there, you can spread it out throughout the whole family. Right? Everybody can take one.
You ever get any ugly sweaters for Christmas?
No, they know better.
Oh, I got one. I was wearing it yesterday. That's about as ugly as it gets, right? I don't need any more ugly sweaters. I would love for someone to get me an immune kit for Christmas, right?
Yeah, it's
Why
a
not
beautiful
give this
box,
to a
too.
relative?
Yeah, it's a great
Let's hear
present.
it.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Gift of health.
Bring her up. Bring her up.
Want to come on up on camera?
Yeah, come on up. Come on.
Tell
Come
the
on.
story,
Come on. Come
you
on.
know?
You want?
Okay.
All right. So you. How old's your niece? So you gave her the immune kit for Christmas last year, and she was suffering from long COVID. And how's she doing now?
I don't know that she ever, kept up a program.
Well, you know what? The most important part of the program, Joe, is what?
Is using the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Implementing the program.
Yes, that's true. But you did the right thing. Yeah.
Well, the great thing is by when you give the immune kit, Joe, you've eliminated a lot of the guesswork and questions,
Yes.
right? Because you ever hear
what
zinc
should I-
is good?
Yeah.
You guys think vitamin C is good? What about vitamin D? What about quercetin?
That's
Right.
the new kid on the block. But
What about
yes.
DMG?
Well, DMG is the miracle worker.
On and on and on, right? There's so many great things. So rather than taking 25 bottles, why not do one kit?
Exactly. It's right there at your fingertips.
I know someone who did take it. We had some clients in last year, and they had the USMC, right? Marine Corps gear on. And they were about to go pick up her nephew from the airport that was just overseas. And he was going to surprise his mom for Christmas, right? So I said, all right, let me give you an immune kit. So we gave it to him on the house, of course, for the military. And they came in the spring. She goes, he was so excited to get that and thankful. I says, well, we appreciate all his service. And she said, he swears by it. So they've been in a few times to re-get it,
great.
to repurchase.
Yes.
But there's an example of a young adult using the kit because in the military, they get exposed to all kinds of medications, toxins, chemicals. They have no idea.
No.
So-
They just line up.
Yeah.
Line up.
And he said that the immune kit really helped them. It was simple and easy to use.
I mean, have you ever seen a kit like this anywhere before? No. The answer is no. It's the only one like it. It's the only one of its kind. And that's what makes it so beautiful, so unique, and so simple to use.
So let's talk about some of the ingredients, Joe, because vitamin D won ingredient of the year a few years ago. We've been around long enough that 400 IUs was considered the top dosing. New research now from PubMed. Is PubMed a respected source?
Absolutely. Yes, it is. Absolutely respected source of research.
And what the research showed on stuff we knew already. Joe, I'll give you credit, Joe. How about that? Is that okay?
Hey, once in a
Joe
while.
was one of the first ones that I know that was promoting 10,000 IUs. Some doc said he's crazy. I go, he's crazy, but he's still right. right?
Yeah, you
Crazy
can be
doesn't
both.
mean, it doesn't mean you're wrong. But you were promoting 10,000 IUs.
Yeah.
And what about the levels, from 30 to 100? So in PubMed, they said in April of 2020, right around the beginning of COVID, that, hey, you need to get levels up to at least 40 to 60, and you can do dosing of 10, 20, or 30,000 IUs
That's right.
for at least 3 weeks.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts on PubMed's research? I know it was late.
It
but-
was a little late, but it was validating, and that's the thing. It was important that it was validated. The reason I've always said you need a higher amount is because we're so deficient. We're so behind the curve, right, Jamie? That's the key. You got to get back up to that level playing ground, and the only way you do that is through a therapeutic dose.
So that's the great thing about the kit. 5,000 IUs, a great starting point,
It's a good
right?
starting point, absolutely.
And you should get your blood levels checked. The range is 30 to 100. Think about that in school, right? You remember high school and college?
Sure.
Graduate of Duquesne University, and me, I went
Slippery rock,
Ivy League, baby, right
Ivy,
there.
the Rock.
So,
It's just fitting that he went to the Rock. Yeah.
so
He's
you
the
think
Rock.
about a test score, right? I know you were all 100s, right? A plus. What if somebody got a 30?
That's less than. That's not even failing.
That's left back, right?
That's held
In
back.
high school, held back. In college, failed out,
Yes,
right?
yes.
30 wouldn't even come on the scale. I think 60 was like a D minus, right? So just like vitamin D, same thing as test score. A minimal of 60, right? We like 70, 80, 90, up to 100.
Absolutely.
Any concerns with, I can't say it, but
Go ahead.
vitamin D toxicity?
No. The answer is no. Know why?
How many patients have you seen suffer from vitamin D toxicity?
0.0. And
Zero.
the reason is very simple. And this was validated by many of the doctors we work with. And that is that it's not even a vitamin. It's really a hormone in the body. So it can't be a fat-soluble vitamin toxicity from something that is a hormone.
So in addition, we have quercetin there. What's some of the research on quercetin?
Quercetin's been around a long time. It's a great bioflavonoid. But what they found in the last 3 years, and this is why it's so popular right now, is that it has an ability to calm an inflammatory response they call the cytokine storm. And that's that massive inflammatory response you get from an event in your body. And cytokine works against
And
that.
especially cooling down that in the lungs, right?
Yes, yes.
So all these COVID issues with lung function,
Yes.
right? COPD, blood clots, those types of things. That'll really help. For any reason you would have any lung issues, right?
Exactly.
So sinuses, allergies, infections, all covered, right? What about the buffered C+? Vitamin C you can get anywhere. Probably the gas station has it. What's the difference on the buffered C+? By Nutritional Frontiers available at World of Wellness?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is in the quality of it, okay? It's in the quality. And the reason it's called buffered C is because vitamin C can be a little acidic, and it can affect your stomach if it's from certain sources, especially. When you buffer it with minerals, like we did in buffered C, you don't get that effect, which means you can take more.
Yeah, and it gives you great benefit without any potential toxicity, right?
Exactly.
We want to make sure you're getting the purest sources in the veggie cap. I've seen some gelatin caps out there. We don't use that in buffered C+. Then the super zinc, we heard about this even on TV or from the president, right? Zinc, how important it is when we're dealing with an immune system, we're dealing with any type of infection going on. So why super zinc versus all the other zincs out there?
Well, the super zinc has a real therapeutic level, okay, of zinc in it at 50 milligrams. But the key with zinc is this. Vitamin D and zinc together, that's your 1-2 punch. Vitamin D will prevent some foreign invader from actually taking hold in your body by taking
And then what
up
does the
that.
zinc do?
Stops it from replicating.
Oh,
so
so you
it
get-
slows that progression
It looks
down.
like a lot of synergy in this kit.
Sure is. Sure
You know,
is.
we're inhibiting the attachment to the cells for the virus or bacteria. We're helping cool down the cytokine storm. We're improving immune function with the buffered C. Then the super zinc will inhibit replication. And then what about the Immunomax?
Well, the Immunomax, that's the one. That's the king of the hill, right? With the immune system, because it has a lot of these things in it. But it has DMG, and it has elderberry, and it has something called a maitake PD fraction. Now, this is the most bioavailable form of maitake mushrooms on the market.
Yeah, and there's only certain mushrooms that have been researched and been approved by the FDA for clinical type 2 trials. Is this one of them?
This is the major one that was approved. Yes.
The only one,
The
yeah,
only
yeah.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I love.
Maitake's a great
The
mushroom.
thing I love about the Immunomax is we have therapeutic levels
Yes.
of the maitake diffraction. We have therapeutic levels of DMG.
Mm-hmm.
We have therapeutic levels of arabinogalacticans, which double at some studies the number of immune cells in the intestinal tract. And we also have beta 1,3 and 1,6 glucan. Why both, Joe?
You got to cover all the bases, Jamie. Everybody's different, and everybody's immune system reacts slightly different. Well, there's been 1,3 in some formulas. There's been 1,6 in others. So like most of the things at Nutritional Frontiers, we include them all.
Yeah, because the 1,3 more bacterial, 1,6 more viral, right?
yeah.
So you want to make sure you have both types that you need on your defense, right?
Yes.
These are like your outside linebackers, right? Being you're a Steeler fan, you remember the Steel Curtain?
Oh, it was
Right?
the best of the best. Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
And you got right in the middle Jack Lambert, right?
Yep.
So you want to make sure you have a complete defense, right? And the immune kit supplies all those nutrients.
Best
so
way.
what's the right way to dose this?
The best way to dose this is during the year, throughout the year, just one of each of these formulas, one capsule or tab, whatever it is, the chewable, if it's the chewable, but one capsule a day. That's it. Now, you get that first little feeling. Like Jamie said, he gets that temperature change. I get that tickle. You get that, bump it up to 4 doses a day.
Well, great, Joe. I love all your expertise and your research that you're providing today, and more important, your real-world application. Because sometimes it gets overwhelming for people, even us, confusing. You know, so we want to give you the right protocols and make it simple and easy to use. And this is a great kit you guys created.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
You
so
know,
much.
the funny thing, Jamie, we use that phrase a lot, that it's simple, it's just not easy.
Yeah.
That quote from
This
the
is,
coach.
yeah.
This is one of the, and we've tried our best to make sure that things are both simple and easy.
So come on down to World of Wellness. We are live today, Joe. All you need to do is show up at 2419 Baldwick Road. If you can't participate by coming in, maybe give us a phone call, 412-922-WELL. That's 412-922-9355. What if they want to be a little more tech savvy or shop from their PJs? Can they get the incentives and discounts
Yeah,
from their
they
home
sure
via
can.
the website?
Yes, they can.
What's that website, Phil?
WOW, what is it? Wow, Pittsburgh, PGH.com.
Yeah, we need to see it on the big screen. So wowpgh.com. So I'm going to show you right here the new, drum roll, Joe, an approved website. Check this out.
Ooh, look at that. Who's that on? Who's that good-looking guy?
That's Dr.
That's
Phil
our
Ross.
Dr. Phil.
He's not only a
He's the
doctor,
real Dr. Phil.
the real one.
Yes.
He's not only a doctor of chiropractic,
Yep.
he's also a certified chiropractic sports physician. So he does sports medicine chiropractic. In addition, he's been certified by the TLP, right?
Got-
Titleist Performing
Yep.
Institute.
Titleist Performing Institute.
And
Yep.
recently,
Yeah.
you got a new one. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, a little drum roll.
Come on.
Dr. Phil is now certified to work with all professional athletes.
Nice. That's good. Let's get him in here, guys.
So if you want to
Come on
schedule an
in.
appointment
Come
with
on
Dr.
down.
Phil, Dr. Orbach, or Alicia, give us a call, 412-922-WELL, 412-922-9355. If you'd like to order anything, can they get the discounts through the website?
You can get the discounts through the website. You can get it on the phone. You can get it in person.
No matter how you like it, you can get it. WowPGH.com or 412-922-9355. Or even better is come down
Come
and hang
on
out,
down.
Joe.
Come on down and say,
There are
hey,
a
you
lot
know,
of
for the
people here
holiday
today.
season.
It's beautiful out.
Let's
We got
go.
the food
We
truck.
got the tree behind us.
All the samples.
Everything's here.
Come on down, and a lot of free samples and travel sizes when you come down, right, Joe?
Great for stocking.
Let's have a great day, a great holiday season. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone, and God bless.